Hello and welcome to the ninth episode of this podcast. You are listening to Jeffer, and for this episode, I will be talking about why we should stop working on someone else's dreams. But before that, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Jeffer Dayag, and please also follow my Facebook page. It is also Jeffer Dayag, and please also follow my podcast on Spotify. You can search for Life Talks or Life Detour or Jeffer Dayag, and then you can have access to my podcast and, of course, to each episode. Let us help this podcast grow to inspire a bigger number of people. So this episode is actually inspired by the book entitled The Book of Mistakes. So in this episode, I will be talking about the first mistake, and in the next episode, I will be talking about the second mistake, and so on. So I want to start this episode by telling you a story about a woman who is actually working as a theater actress. For a very long time, she spent her life working in a theater as a theater actress. She's been doing acting and, of course, entertaining people. And one time, she reflected upon her career and her life in general. And during her reflection, she ran into questions that changed her life. She asked herself, is this the life I wanted for myself? Is this the job I really wanted to pursue? And then she realized that she's only doing it to satisfy the people who expect her to do her expected job. Despite the doubts and unsatisfactory happiness, she gets up every day thinking that she has to attend to the certain expectations of the people. She gains applauses from people because of her performances, but along the way, she loses her sense of focus. She mistakenly responds to the wrong calling, and then she changes her focus. She follows her own desire, and then she becomes a writer, a playwright, and stops working as a theater actress. And then after that, she becomes happy. And it is something that she realized she failed to correct in the initial part of her career, because she is blinded by the appraisals, but she fortunately managed to correct it then. The first mistake is working on someone else's dreams. This is what most people tend to commit over the course of their lives. Some manages to have a detour and then get back to their focus, but there are also some who continues to live their lives doing this mistake. And if you think you are one of those people who have been doing this mistake, if you think you have been doing a thing for other people to satisfy them and to attend to their expectation, then I encourage you to stop doing that. That is obviously a waste of time, and not just your time, but also efforts and dedication. And in order to reform our focus, we need to identify what it is that we want to pursue, that we want to do in life, that we want to see ourselves doing. When you flash an image of yourself, try to put a specific image of you based on what you want yourself to become. And then after, try to list or identify the things that you can actually do to become what you want to become. While you are doing this, you will realize that there is a certain amount of focus directed to your dreams. By having this focus, you won't be wasting any of your time dedicating something to the expectation of other people. If you try to notice some people, may it be your uncle, sister, brother, there is a possibility that when you ask them whether they are happy of their career, they will say no. A lot of us have been doing or are just doing things because we want to provide something to our family and to ourselves. And you know when this thing usually happens? When we feel pressure by time and age, and when we are supposed to be mature, but we don't know exactly what to do because we don't have certain focus. That is why I am advocating. I am spreading a message that as early as now, try to put clarity to your dreams. Do not ignore this one. Decide now, so you won't end up working on someone else's dreams. Follow your passion, because something that is done outside your true inclination will always appear bad. The performance that is done for someone else is the worst performance you could ever have. It won't always be your finest performance. When you are caged inside the expectation of other people and then you respond to it, then you become a slave of their desires. Do not lose your dreams just to satisfy them. You have to own your story. Remember this one. When you serve others, you are suiting yourself on their stories. But when you follow your dreams and passion, you are owning and creating your own story. Stop working for them and start pursuing your passion. Stop working on someone else's dreams. So that is all for this episode, and I hope you learned something from this one. And if you do, you can actually share this podcast to your friends or to your social media feeds, and maybe we can inspire a bigger number of people. So again, you are listening to Jeffer, and thank you for being with me.